Hello and welcome to day 7 of Lifebook's 30-Day Challenge. I'm so happy to have you here with me today. Today we're going to be exploring the fascinating and powerful category of your emotional life. You know, most people have never really thought deeply about this category at all. They've got no idea what they believe about emotions, what they actually are, where they come from, and why they may be so important in our lives. Well, I've done quite a bit of thinking and a lot of study on this subject over the years, and what I'd like to do is I'd like to start with a clip from the classic Lifebook program that I think is going to shed some light on what exactly are emotions and how we can use them to improve our quality of life. Let's take a look now. Have you ever been in one of those situations where something just didn't feel quite right and you're not sure exactly what it is? You can't back it up with logic. You can't define it intellectually. Call it an intuition, a hunch, a gut feeling. You just know that something's wrong. We've all had that experience. We pick up some kind of negative data. It got past our conscious mind, but our emotions caught it. If you're like me, you've learned to pay attention to feelings like that because many times those gut feelings turn out to be right. What is that? What's that all about? What are emotions anyway? Today we know that the whole body possesses intelligence. The whole body is the brain. Emotions are body wisdom. They're our innate intelligence. They're signals from deep within us, and they come up in response to some aspect of reality. Emotions are there to tell us something. Emotions are usually a call to action. That uneasy feeling you got in your gut, that's your body wisdom telling you to use caution. Be careful, be on your guard. Fear can tell us to run. Anger usually tells us that our boundaries have been violated in some way. Feelings like love, happiness, joy, these great emotions are signals that tell us that we're doing something right, making good choices. Pleasurable emotions like that tell us to keep doing more of the same thing. Emotions are an amazing, incredible gift that our species has been given. It's free wisdom. You don't have to learn it in school. It's built into the fabric of our beings. It's that shock that you get right in the middle of your chest when you're walking through the woods and you see a rustling in the grass just ahead. If that were a poisonous snake, your emotions, not your thinking brain, would save you. If you had to intellectually analyze what was going on and try to make a logical decision about what might be in the grass and what's appropriate to do next, you'd be done. Instead, what happens? You jump back. You instinctively jump back before your brain can even register a thought. What an amazing gift. That's survival value. Emotions are faster than intellect, and they're deeper. Are emotions always right? Of course not. We've all had emotional reactions we regretted later, right? We've all gotten angry or jealous over something completely stupid. You don't want to go blindly charging off in the direction of every emotion. If you fall in love with someone who's had 6 divorces and been arrested multiple times for abuse, you'd better do something more than just listen to your emotions. You've got to use your head too. And sometimes our hearts and our heads can have a difference of opinion on an issue. If that happens, you can be sure of one thing: something's wrong. There's an error somewhere. There's a conflict, a contradiction. Sometimes it's with the head, sometimes it's with the heart, and sometimes it's with both. We need to bring consciousness to the situation and figure it out. Emotions can be your best friend or your worst enemy. If you have a healthy relationship with your emotions, if you acknowledge, accept, and honor them, if you treat them as tools of awareness, you'll have a built-in barometer to help you make good decisions. For example, if you paid attention to it, that gut feeling you had, may have just saved you from doing something stupid. High emotional intelligence allows you to be very resourceful, solid, grounded. The willingness to experience your feelings has direct healing power. It clears the way for you to begin to understand and deal with just about any issue, any wound, any hurt in your life. If you listen to what your emotions are trying to tell you, you can become intimately connected with the deepest part of yourself. On the other hand, if we don't honor our emotions, when we fight or push down or try to block a feeling, it tends to grow stronger. Because that feeling is there to tell us something, and it's usually not going to go away until we get the message. The farther we push it down, the stronger it needs to become in order to be heard. But when we allow ourselves to acknowledge it, to experience it, to listen to what it's trying to tell us, it usually begins to melt. Once it does its job, an emotion will usually recede willingly. There's another very interesting and very important aspect of emotions, and that is this. Emotional states can be created consciously. For instance, if I want to experience an emotional state like peacefulness, tranquility, serenity, I can create that state by doing certain things. There's a recipe for that. Walking through a beautiful garden, soft, relaxing music, the sight and sound of water gently flowing, surrounding myself with living things, plants and flowers, quieting my mind, spending time in nature, surrounding myself with tranquility, warmth, and love. Just thinking about those things relaxes me and puts me in a peaceful emotional state. There's a recipe for every emotional state. There's a recipe for happiness. And there's a recipe for jealousy. There's a recipe for joy and passion. There's a recipe for anger, for sadness. These emotional states can be generated if you do certain things. And this is hugely powerful to understand, because once you know that emotional states can be created, you can consciously choose which states you want to experience on a daily basis and which ones you're unwilling to allow into your life. That's called emotional control. I'm not suggesting that we can feel great every second of every day. People let you down. Friction happens. Our lives can be stressful. And sometimes in life, we can encounter a negative emotion that's so powerful that it temporarily overrides everything else. These emotions can be impossible to change, at least for a while. The loss of a child, or a divorce, or a physical accident, for instance. These things can be so traumatic that you can see how difficult it would be to just create more positive emotions on demand while you're dealing with something like that. But for the most part, in the absence of serious trauma, you can exercise a tremendous amount of control over the emotions that you experience on a daily basis. You can think about and do the things that make you happy, and you'll be happier. You can think about and do the things that relax you, and you'll be more relaxed. You can really learn to manage your emotions in your everyday life. The ability to tap into your body wisdom, to learn from your emotions and let them guide you, is huge. The ability to identify what emotional states you want to experience and to be able to create those states, that's also huge. Developing these two skills simultaneously can change everything in your life. Whether we like it or not, we have lots and lots of very powerful emotions every day. Some are positive, some are negative, and some are in between. So really understanding our emotions is vital to living the extraordinary life that we really want to be living. Today we learned that we can really learn a tremendous amount from our emotions, and we can use them to help us navigate our days more successfully. Tomorrow we're going to do a little bit deeper dive into this fascinating category, and we're really going to explore what makes us tick, what makes us happy, and what makes us unhappy. I think you're going to find this exploration very interesting and very valuable. Until then, have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow as we continue to explore your emotional life.